Totes Recall.
Welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we cannot remember very well. Then we pause the recording. We eat 2 pizzas and 2 salads. Thank you, patrons. While we're eating and pausing, we're watching the movie that we talked about. Then the movie ends. The pizza ends. We come back to the recording table. Spoiler alerts, it's a table.
What?
And we talk again into the microphones about the movie we just watched. Now we know something about that movie because we just watched it. And that's the format of the show, Totes Recall, an award-winning podcast.
Oh, no.
My name is Dan.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie this very special spring episode is Maid in Manhattan.
Yay!
A movie starring Jennifer Lopez.
J.Lo.
Probably a man.
Probably.
And it's the Maid is a homophone.
Yes.
Spelled
I love how we all had to think about it.
spelled M-A-I-D.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But also makes you think of M-A-D-E.
Dan, honestly, it sounds like when I tried to write a book report.
How can I pad out these pages?
Yes.
That reminds me of the report I wrote in 5th grade on Richard Nixon.
Okay.
In which I was having a hard time in 5th grade, so I didn't want to do any work. And I did a find replace for all the Richard Nixons by putting Richard Milhouse Nixon in there to add a word every time I said his name.
Nice.
And I think I cut out all pronouns and just used his full name every time I referred to him. And I made the font like 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't do any research past like before he was president. So when my teacher asked what's his biggest accomplishment, I didn't know anything about the Vietnam War, and I just talked about some cabinet position he had or some shit. I did not do well. Made in Manhattan.
Have you seen this movie then?
No.
Okay.
I also have not seen it.
I've also not seen
I
it.
feel pretty sure I've seen it.
Okay.
But the more I think about it, the more I can just sort of picture something that might be a still from the movie.
Sure.
Also, I am consistently getting this confused with the one with Matthew McConaughey called The Wedding Planner.
Oh.
Which
Is that also J.Lo?
That's
Yeah.
J.Lo and Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
This one is someone different, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know. This movie is definitely though part of like the era of J.Lo. Like she definitely had like this moment where she was just like cranking out movies, probably getting big bucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was hot shit in Hollywood, and this I feel like Maid in Manhattan was like part of that arc.
I wonder where it is in relation to Out of Sight.
Yeah,
right?
that's a great question. Because was that like her big entry or not?
I don't know if that was her big entry or her big, like, oh, wow.
Is that the one with George Clooney?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I've
Is
seen
that an action movie?
Sort of.
Yeah. It's directed by a famous director.
It was one of those like it was one of those movies like Get Shorty where like, oh, Pulp Fiction made money, so people started to make like kind of like sort of silly, but there's still some violence in it. Movies.
Kind of thinky action
so
movies.
Out of Sight was one of those where it's like J.Lo and George Clooney or one of them's a criminal. I don't remember.
Okay, but that's a different movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I propose then that Molly, I hate that I'm saying this, but
Yes.
Molly times us
Oh.
on a award potentially
Jesus.
earning segment.
She's so excited
Totes
to do this.
Pre-Call,
Yeah.
Union Strong.
That's right.
Rah, rah, rah. In which we take 60 seconds to our best guess of the plot of Maid in Manhattan.
We trio this?
We trio this.
Okay.
Okay. You have 60 seconds, and your time starts now.
J.Lo is a maid in Manhattan.
New York, baby. It's a fancy hotel where money people stay.
Yeah.
She's got friends who are funny, and they're always like, you got to get a man.
Ooh, she's got a mother that is quite upset with her lack of man.
Yeah, she doesn't live in Manhattan, and she has to take the subway train all the time from the Bronx.
She goes in to clean a room. There is a nude, hot man in it, and it's awkward, but also intriguing.
Yeah.
33 seconds.
He's older, like Richard Gere, but not that old.
Do you think it's, what's that guy's name? Ben
Kingsley.
Affleck?
Brad?
Benjamin Bratt.
Benjamin Brett?
Benjamin Bratt. He's nude.
We see his butt.
Yes.
10 seconds.
Oh, she tries to clean their room, but also tries to clean his life up. And
Yeah.
they maybe fall in love, but also the hotel boss is like, stop fraternizing with the nude customers. Oh,
Champagne.
champagne. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's 100% correct.
Thank you.
Based on my memory of the movie. One thing that comes up for me thinking about this is how typically the rom-com format is the woman has to be torn in some way.
Yes.
And so it's real deep rut about her being torn by her incredible career. So I'll be interested to know. Oh, I have seen this movie.
Oh, tell us something.
Nope. Sorry. That
wow.
was no. I have seen a movie. Okay.
You've seen a movie. Okay.
Okay, you know what? I think I have seen this movie.
Okay, what movie did you see?
Yeah, what do you think is in this movie?
What I think happens is that her pull is that her parents have found a guy that they feel like is right. He's Italian, and he's
Is she Italian in this movie?
her family is or something. I don't know. This might even be the right movie,
Great.
but I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, here's Molly's bet.
Yep.
So he drives a Vespa, and
So he's Italian,
he's
all right.
Italian for sure. And anyway,
Is his name Mr. Pasta?
Oh,
but she
Bella
loves-
Jenny, please take a ride on my Vespa. We go up to the Bronx.
so her family is in love with this guy, and it seems like the right fit for her, and they're all kind of pressuring her / excited for her to marry him.
So she's like
going to
actually
agree to marry
okay.
him. Maybe it's to keep him. Maybe it's to get a green card. I don't know. But anyway, she doesn't want to let down her family.
I
She's
see.
planning on marrying this guy, but meanwhile, she falls in love
With Benjamin Bratt's Bratt.
unlikely person.
Yeah.
Possibly Benjamin Bratt.
He's like in business.
Oh, he's definitely got to be business, right?
Yeah.
I think.
I want to say mergers and acquisitions, but
But
am I
he's
doing
got
Pretty Woman?
something that you are doing.
But is this movie doing kind of Pretty Woman in some
of.
level?
But anyway, at some point, they're gonna. She goes to City Hall and she's gonna go through this wedding, and everybody's like, you don't have to go through this wedding.
With the
And then
Italian?
maybe this is the wedding planner. You know what? It's the wedding planner. Never mind.
Wow.
Oh, Mr. Justice of the Peace, I love this woman. I'm going to live with her forever. Please don't make me leave.
Oh, I don't know.
So she's not stoked about being a maid.
I
Like,
will
not-
say, like, in your synopsis that you just gave,
Yes.
not once did you mention her being a maid. Which I'm pretty sure that's like the number one thing that I know about this movie.
Yeah. And she's like working too hard.
For sure.
Right?
Dan's bat.
Oh, she cleans lots of places.
Multiple hotels?
Does she work in a hotel?
I thought she worked in a hotel.
Maybe she works in a
Find,
fancy
like,
house.
a keepsake or something.
I kind of think
like a
she's
locket.
like a Molly maid. Sorry, Molly, or you're welcome.
What's
I don't know.
What? What's a
I
Molly
don't know
maid?
what that means.
You don't have that? Oh,
No,
like
she's a maid at a
What do you mean?
hotel.
Who's we who doesn't have what?
Oh, you people who didn't come from where I did.
Oh, my
California.
God.
It's like a corporate. It's like a company that sends maids
The
places.
corporate is called Molly Maid?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
the Molly
okay.
Maids. And you should, by the way, never hire those corporations.
Yeah.
Hire someone directly because corporations are brutal. Typically. Maybe not always, but a lot of times.
Hot tip from the podcast Totes Recall. Corporations, pretty brutal.
Yeah, pretty brutal.
They don't, some of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but a large sum of them,
Yeah.
all of them, are not great to their
Yeah.
labor.
I can stand behind that. That's
you.
like the first thing that I can stand behind.
Also more dicks in movies or whatever it is I
No.
usually
all of
say.
us
Nope.
agree on that.
No.
Nope.
Benjamin Bratt's Brenus. Let's go.
Yeah, I was saying she's cleaning a lot of places. Like
Okay.
she's got, I got to get to the next place, and one's a hotel, and one's a corporate ballroom, and one's a thing. But everybody else thinks
I'm
like
sticking-
she's employed by the hotel.
I'm sticking with fancy hotel with multiple floors, Manhattan Baby, and then she has fun conversations with the other maids in the help rooms that customers,
Guess?
Sleep customers.
sleep customers aren't allowed to go in.
Yeah,
I feel like she definitely has a uniform on the cover, right?
yeah.
I think so.
Maybe the meet cute is he's trying to duck out of like an encounter and ducks into a cleaning space.
Yes.
Oh.
Like he sees his old
Intimate
flame or
space,
something.
Yeah.
Or a
Or
business
his
deal's
boss.
going wrong.
Yeah.
Dan's bat.
Okay.
This is going full Pretty Woman, where at some point hot man puts her in a nice dress and they go somewhere and she's feeling out of place because she's just a maid.
Oh,
You think maybe they might both learn something?
About class and like where people come from?
Yeah.
I would confidently add that to my bet,
Yeah,
yes.
that's a good bet. At the end, they fall in love.
Yeah.
Or maybe in the middle they fall in love.
Sure.
And then they fall out of love for a little bit, and then they fall back in love.
Do we think, around the table, around the horn question, do we think either Jennifer Lopez or nude man in Hotel has a child?
Oh.
Like a young child that's charming.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
No children. Maybe J.Lo's got a nephew.
A nephew.
That's as far as I'll go.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know, but this does make me think of a story. When I was in New York, Manhattan, no big deal. And I was staying on the company's dime
Nice.
at a nice hotel, and the bellhop had walked me up to to the room.
Yeah.
And he was like chatting me up and opening the door, and he throws open the door, and I just see the bare legs of a man sticking out over the side of the bed.
Oh, no.
And it was a
Dead?
large man. No, not dead.
Okay.
Sex.
I don't know
Oh.
because I only saw like
Leg.
leg.
Yeah.
And that dude just was like very smoothly like let the door close, the bellhop let the door close and just like hightailed it down the hall. And I was like, I don't know how to feel. Like maybe we don't need to. Like I couldn't tell if we should like walk away or run or like what. And I was
Did
like, well,
he
this guy seems to
indicate that
know.
you should follow him?
Yeah, the bellhop was like walking with purpose back to the elevator.
But did he like make it clear like you also walk with me?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Okay.
That wasn't a problem.
This
What I
was supposed
didn't
to be your room?
expect, it was supposed to be my room that he's taking me to, is the guy comes out of his room and is PO'd, to say the least.
I'd be
and
mad.
he's like yelling after and starts to run after us.
Oh,
What?
And he's like, sorry, man. And then, like, I guess he decided it wasn't worth it to pursue, but that was extremely uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, man, it happens all the time. I was like, what? Then someone should fix this.
then there's
What
a
happens?
problem.
Are they
There's
like
a
double
problem.
booking?
Yeah.
What's
I don't think they
happening?
were double booking. I think their key system was messed up because our key opened the door. It wasn't like a master key. It was my key made
Right.
for my room.
Will that guy not check out in time?
Ooh, maybe.
It was like 4 PM.
Ugh.
Maybe he was rolling the dice.
Maybe, I don't know, but I'm just saying, I've never opened a door since then to a hotel room where I haven't held my breath just a little.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
please just be empty.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
hot tip.
Hot
Carefully.
tip.
That's a hot tip. Hold
Yeah.
your breath when you
Hold
open
your
it.
breath when you open a hotel room door.
And check for man legs in the bed before you get in.
Always check for man. That's just a good tip in general.
Yeah,
You do that thing where you like turn on the lights real quick to see if there's any bed bugs.
Yeah.
And then also check
Check
for
for man
legs.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You turn on the lights real quick
I don't
to
know
look
about
for
that.
bed bugs?
Yeah.
Or like roaches.
So, like,
roach.
scatter?
Oh yeah, roaches. When
Yeah.
it's dark, like
Turn
you
it,
turn the
jump
light
in and
on.
go,
Yeah. Yeah.
And see if they
You startle
scatter.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
don't know
Ooh,
about
we used
that.
to live in a place with a bunch of roaches, and I would just like turn on the light and just wait for all of them to scurry out of the way. There'd be like 30 of them.
Ugh.
It was real rough.
That is rough.
Yeah. Will
Yeah.
there be any roaches in this movie?
Oh, maybe there's like a funny scene where she finds a roach,
Yeah.
and then she's like, ah.
Or a mouse?
Or
And
a
then
rat.
her friend,
New York baby.
who is another woman and
Uh-huh.
is named,
Yep.
comes in and is like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "There's a roach in
This
here."
female
and then we're
cockroach
like,
is in here.
pass.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree about where you're headed, Beth,
Mm-hmm.
that this will pass Bechdel-Wallace. She's got to have a friend that she
Yes.
like confides in, like, oh, I saw a butt
Yeah.
and I'm in love.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't be in love with a
that is
butt. You're
about
a
a man.
maid.
What?
What's up?
Do you think that she'll speak to her friend about
Oh, yeah.
anything else but a man?
And like, I got to go clean the toilets.
Yeah.
A woman barfed a shitload.
Yep. All right.
This female toilet is full of woman barf. What? Dan's bet. Friend Maid is like down to flock.
Oh
And
yeah.
is like very encouraging for J.Lo to get with hot hotel man.
Maybe she's had a hotel fling before,
Ooh.
and she's
Oh.
like, "You got to
Giving
get in on
tips,
this."
advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
permission structure. Yeah, I like
yeah.
it.
That's good. I'm into that. And Butt Man probably has like a business partner.
Yeah,
That's how these movies work.
business
They all
butt?
have a friend,
Yeah.
and then they got some scenes with a friend.
Yeah. Like he's walking around getting coffee, and this guy's like, business, but also crush that pussy, dude.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, I'm thinking about being respectful even though I am in business.
Yeah, and his business friend is like, hell no, dude. That's not what we do. Money, money.
If they say that in this movie, I will
They are
lose
not
my
gonna say
mind.
that in this movie.
It would be shocking.
Shocking.
But there'll be like a sense of it. Like he wants to say it, right?
Yeah, he'll have that.
We know that he
mood
says it behind
In his
closed
head. Like in his mind, he always says that.
Yeah.
What year do we think this came out?
Great question.
Oh.
Is this a 90s or a 2000s?
I mean, what was J.Lo's like big moment?
Is this? I was going to say like 2001, but that can't be right if it's in Manhattan. Otherwise, we'd be like, did you hear they erased the Twin Towers from Maid in Manhattan?
I'd say 2004.
When did
That's good.
I'm trying to think when like some of her big music came out at the same because that happened at the same time or was
Jenny
that
on the Block?
Jenny on the Block
Not
with
Jenny
the
on
Ben
the Block.
Affleck years, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then there was Green Dress. She had that
Yes.
deep V.
I don't know about Green Dress.
Who
TV?
did she date before Ben Affleck? That was a big deal. Oh,
She was married to Mark Anthony.
yes.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
yeah,
so.
That's his name, right?
Was that
I
post
think so.
Ben?
Don't they
He's
have
a singer.
twins?
No, it's pre.
Do they have
Ben.
twins?
They have kids, I thought. They were together for a long
I feel like
time.
Ben Affleck was like the
1998.
first one, and then he was married to Mark Anthony, or she was married to Mark Anthony, and then she was with somebody else.
Yeah.
Say
And now
2002.
she's back.
A-Rod?
Oh,
Is
yes.
A-Rod in there?
Yes. She was with
A-Rod's
A-Rod.
later, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but now
A-Rod they just split,
but
and then he
Molly's
bought the
talking about
Timberwolves.
Molly's talking about how it was A-Rod then Bennifer 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree about that.
Okay. Well, none of that
Or
helped
was
me get a
Bennifer the
year.
other Jennifer that he was with?
No, Bennifer's J.Lo.
Okay.
J.Lo, yeah.
J-Lo's the Jennifer.
Okay.
He was
That
with
was-
another
He
Jennifer.
was with
Garner.
Jennifer Garner for years.
No, they
Married.
didn't have a name. They were just like, yeah, look at those nice white people. They're
Yeah.
together and they have
Like,
children.
Yeah, and she like helped him stop killing himself with alcohol.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
Well, thanks, I guess.
It really took a
sure,
toll.
thanks.
Yeah.
And then he cheated on her with their nanny.
Great.
Oh,
Is that a thing that happened?
I don't remember.
probably
Who cares?
these movie stars.
This might be the plot of Maid a Minute.
Oh, wow. That would be prophetic. Oh, no, she didn't get
What if
cheated.
Hot Butt is staying at the hotel because he got kicked out of his house for being a cat?
Oh, wow. Then why she want to be with him? He's
I
a
don't
cat.
Do you think that this is Ben Affleck and that's how they met?
No, they met somewhere else.
A different movie.
I'm pretty sure.
Molly, do you want to bet a year?
Oh, yeah, sure. Put me down for 1999, the year that
baby.
all the good stuff came out.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Peak movie year.
Peak movie made in Manhattan.
That's when we knew it was the best year of movies. Like
Yeah.
we had a couple like this is pretty good.
Oh, The
And
Matrix
Made in
is
Manhattan
good.
drops, and it's like, oh my god, this is peak cinema.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Feeling good?
I feel great. Molly, how should we rate this movie?
Were there no other
Oh,
year bets? That's
We
it?
already bet while you were talking about
yeah.
Bennifer.
Oh, sorry.
we slipped him in.
Yeah, I apologize in advance for this rating scale.
Wow.
Hot Batel. Hot Butt L. Hot Hotel. Nope.
Okay.
I was
like where you're
trying
going
to
with
do.
this.
No, see,
No,
this is,
I
of
see
course
where
you
you-
would, Dan. 'cause I'm trying to interrupt the word hotel with the word butt
To make it
because
like
it's
hot
hot
butt, yeah.
butt
Hot.
hotel. How about hot butt hotel?
Hot Butt Hotel.
That's
It
got
still works.
That's got a good
Hot
ring to it.
Butt Hotel.
Yeah.
Hot butt hotel.
Like that Elvis
The
song.
emphasis is on the hotel.
Hot
Wait, is
Butt
it-
Hotel.
Hot Butt Hotel
Hot Butt Hotel.
or Hot Butt Hotel?
Hot butt. It's a hotel.
What?
What? Wait a
One
minute.
T and Bud?
It's one T.
Two T's and hot.
Hot.
Yes, absolutely.
Hot, comma, hot to, comma,
Hot
butt hotel.
butt hotel.
Okay, but it's like a play on words. Like you know what we're saying.
So this is
There's
like
butts here.
for the traveler who thinks they can only get down at like a motel. No, what's the sexiest place to stay?
What?
I say this
Like a
is the, whole-
Do
chalet.
you mean the sexiest or do you mean like the most sexual?
the most sexual.
Yeah, because you're thinking of like motels that pay by the or like rent by the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so maybe it's like an up class place to go get down.
I think people are staying there for multiple reasons.
Okay.
But
Hot
like,
butt hotel.
Oh, wait. We're talking about the Hot Butt Hotel.
yeah.
Hot butt hotel.
Maybe it just has a really nice pool.
Oh, yeah.
Saunas in every room.
You know, it's
Oh,
just
every
sort of
room's
like
a sauna.
Not the whole room. That'd be insane.
I feel like this would be a show like one of those Bachelor kind of shows.
Sure, yeah.
And you like show up and everybody has their own room key.
Yes.
And then
you can like exchange room keys.
Yeah.
So they also have to work there.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
But hotel.
Yeah, it's still a hotel.
You're still employed. We have to make some money here.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We put 26 hot people in this working hotel where they have to keep it clean, but also find love.
Yeah. They got to respect the bottom line and the bottom line.
Seriously, trademark.
This rules. This is our best trademark yet. We're going to be millionaires.
All right, Dan, how many hot butt hotels do you give Maid in Manhattan?
Okay, so a little peek behind my curtain. When we first discussed like what movies we were going to watch for this season of Totes Recall, and by season I just mean chronological year because we're cool and just never stopping. I was weirdly excited about doing this movie, mostly because I just was so amused, like personally amused at the idea of telling someone we did an episode about Maid in Manhattan. Yeah. I don't know why. I've never seen it. I just remember it just feels very much like of an era. Like I definitely saw commercials for it in whatever year that was. And for whatever reason, I find it hilarious, but I don't think it's going to be very good. So I'm going to mix that optimism with that cynicism and say 3 hot butt hotels.
Great. Beth, you are second, as we all know.
Yes, I go second. So this movie was like in the zeitgeist at the time, for sure, because I know what it is and I can remember like advertisements for it. I never saw it. Most people I know never saw it, it seems like, based off of this room. Right. And it's not
always
one of those...
babysitted Italian dub.
It's definitely a Vespa. Also, there's like, it's not one of those like movies that people are like, oh, I stayed home last night and I watched like, Steel Magnolias or something. It's like I stayed home and watched Maid in Manhattan. So I gotta say it was not a good one. Yeah. It's not a good rom-com. 2.
Oh, wow.
2 hot butt hotels.
Hurts.
What?
I was going to say the truth hurts, and I tried to put 2 in there. I think Dan
I thought you said 2/3. It's like, sure.
Yep. My name is Dan. I'm third. Yeah. I'm also similar to other Dan. Also Dan. Less hot Dan.
What?
Wow.
I'm excited to watch this movie. It hits a fun place for me of like a movie people know about and seen, but like no one is talking about. Because why?
Yeah.
But also like I can't imagine I'll like it.
I hope it's so good.
I hope you love it.
3, I guess.
I hope you absolutely love this movie.
I hope I do too.
This is going to become a Totes classic.
Yeah. I watch it
5s across the board.
Every time I go to New York. Is there a holiday?
Sure.
Every spring? It's my spring solstice equinox movie. Molly, you're 4th.
Oh, thank you.
But not least.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm off
that
my
is
game.
super cool. Okay, first of all, I want to apologize to everyone because I realized I was definitely describing the plot of The Wedding Planner.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Isn't it? But I was remembering more details, and that is definitely a different movie. As for this movie, I want to be optimistic.
Please.
I don't want to be cowardly and give it a 3. So I will be less cowardly than I feel and go 4 hot butt hotels.
Nice.
And we'll hope.
Beal, Bold, Benjamin Bratz, Brenus.
That is Baggins.
And with that, we're going to hit pause and go watch Maid in Manhattan. We'll be right back. Hey, listeners, you've made it to the mid-roll, and I have a very exciting and important thing for you to know, and that is we respect listener opinions year-round, but especially this month. And not only that, but next month. You know what? We respect you. And so Respect Listener Opinion Month is where we ask you to vote on which movie we will watch for the month of May. And in addition to that, we also ask you some other fun questions to get to know you a little bit. You can ignore those questions if you want, but please know we do read them and do appreciate getting your feedback.
Yep.
Also, we appreciate getting your votes. Please only vote once. But vote with your whole heart. That's what I'm really saying.
Yeah. So to be clear, on the ballot, there's a whole list of movies.
Yes.
You can pick as many of those movies that you want.
All of them if you want.
Yeah, you can pick all of them. That's kind of,
effectively is none of them.
Yes. But you can do that. Maybe just leave one out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just be like, I hate this movie.
Yeah.
But only submit the form one time. Everybody gets one vote.
Yep. And with those votes, we are finding out what we're going to watch in May, and we're very excited to do that.
Molly, I have two questions.
Yes.
One, where would one go to vote?
Oh, terrific.
Town Hall?
Honestly, you could, but I would just go to totesrecall.com, and there you would find a big button that says Respect Listener Opinion Month, but I am old. Younger people would go to the address Beth is going to say.
Respect.totesrecall.com.
Yeah.
That is very helpful information.
We put respect first.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a second question.
Okay.
How long do we have to vote?
You have until the 21st of April, 2023.
Excellent.
So, in theory, if you're listening to this right away, you have a whole week.
So have a think and have a vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a care.
Yeah, don't think too hard, but know that we care about you.
And respect you.
Respect.totesrecall.com. And we're back. We just watched 1 hour and 45 minutes of just a truly surprising, very predictable and yet extremely surprising Maid in Manhattan.
Would you say it was surprising?
I mean, I was.
I got surprised a couple times.
I was surprised.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
But before we talk about how surprised we are, one thing that we're no longer surprised by is the amount of awards we get from Manhattan and other locations for a segment that we do called 60-Second Summary.
Yes, the award winner.
In which we summarize the movie we just watched, Maid in Manhattan, in 60 seconds exactly. As is tradition, I volunteer to do it.
Here's what I propose.
Yeah.
I propose Molly does it because the three of us pre-summed it.
Oh,
and
that's
I
a
don't
good
want
idea.
Molly to feel left out.
That's a great suggestion.
Yeah,
and
I
that
love
way
it.
there's no way Molly can tell.
That's right. How do you feel with this proposal?
Oh, I feel great.
All right.
Sure.
Will you just give her a 33-second?
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, well, I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
I think so.
Are you ready to open on?
Yes.
Okay. Go.
We open on New York. We see the Statue of Liberty. A guy's taking out trash. We see Jennifer Lopez. Her name is Marissa. She's taking her son to school. They have an incredible relationship. He's nervous about public speaking. Anyway, she goes to work. We learn about her work life. We see nudity almost immediately. There's just a lot of sexy jokes and sexual innuendo and all kinds of things. But as she met, this is the plot. Okay, so the plot is that she gets
29 and a half seconds.
Oh, she gets talked into trying on an outfit that leads to her meeting a senator played by Ray Fiennes. We'll get to it. And anyway, they fall in love, but under this guise that she's pretending to be somebody else. It's a kind of romantic farce. There's some misconnections. Some things happen. They get revealed. They break up. Months go by. They get back together
10
right
seconds.
at Christmas. And there's a little boy named Ty in it who's about 9. Oh, I mentioned that at the beginning. But anyway, he learns how to do good public speaking.
Time. So it just suddenly became Ty's movie there at the end.
Honestly, I would have loved that version of the movie as well.
Wow.
And he's like real into his mom kissing at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This movie came out in 2002, which I nailed.
You
Nice.
did. Do you think, and I know 100% Utah.
Absolutely.
I absolutely nailed
100%
it.
Utah.
But do you think we gave enough context if somebody hadn't seen the movie, they would understand it's a rom-com and she gets mistaken for somebody else, right? It's a
She's-
class thing.
She is encouraged by her friend, who's also a maid,
Yes.
to try on this $5,000 Dolce jacket and situation.
And that's 2002 money, am I right?
Yeah, right. Ray Fiennes comes in the room at that time, and
Yes.
then he falls for her instantly.
Yeah.
Turns out she's not the rich lady staying in that room. She's the
Yep.
maid making the bed
in Manhattan.
Oh, in Manhattan.
I get it now.
Yes,
and I
the
totally
maid
left
is
out.
in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
And so the pressures on him are Natasha Richardson, who was the actual person who lives in the room, is in love with him.
She's just horny and lonely.
She just wants
She's-
to
yeah,
make
she-
somebody jealous.
yeah,
Whatever.
she's gone through what she believes a very public breakup.
Which no one knows about.
No one
Yeah.
knows about. Yeah.
So she's just trying to get some revenge, I think.
And then meanwhile, Stanley Tucci is Ray Fiennes' campaign director.
Yes.
Stanley Tucci is amazing.
Yes.
And
Just a quick clarification
yes.
from your summary.
Yeah.
He is an assemblyman running for Senate.
Oh, great point.
But
And
his
National
father-
Senate, yes.
His father apparently died, and that's opened up the Senate seat.
Do you think we kill?
I
He killed
didn't
him.
realize that.
Tooch?
wow.
You think Tooch killed him?
Maybe Tooch did.
Maybe.
Tooch is raw ambition,
Oh, baby.
and
I feel bad for
yes.
Tucci. I feel like this is a kind of character I felt bad for before, where they're like
Just trying to do their
they're
job.
trying to do their job, and then someone is like lovesick. Some other rom com. I feel
a
like we
million
watched.
of them.
So many.
But they set it up that you can dislike him because he hates dogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or does he?
Wow. Well, he's
I
got
think-
he's got
it's
an article.
unclear.
showing
We'll
us
talk
here.
about that, yeah.
The dog's name is Rufus.
Oh,
Yeah.
Great dog.
In
great
real
dog.
life also.
Enormous dog. So
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Yes. So anyway, I even left out the dog. You're right. But anyway, so
Small smart part. But
so he has like political pressure on him to
Yes.
not do anything that's newsworthy and to not go through more girlfriends. And then the pressure on Jennifer Lopez's character is less clear.
Confusing.
Her mother is kind of mean.
She's getting like different pressures from different people.
She's getting like push yourself to become a manager, so it is like work related stress, but
Yeah.
also her mom is like, how can you think you're better than all of us?
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing.
No one really wants her to go get a man. We
Yeah.
kind of guessed that might be it. Like her mom was like, "You need a man."
Yeah, or that her horny maid friend to be like, girl, get horny
No.
with
yeah.
me.
When she does
I
have
mean, she
a
does
very
do
horny
that.
friend.
I mean, her friend is like, tell me all about him.
Yeah.
Tell me about his dick or whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what she implies.
Yeah.
She does. Her answer is about his eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And his lips.
Ugh.
There's
Sorry.
no Italian family or Vespa rider. We were waiting the
So
whole
disappointing.
movie
no.
for
Someone
Marcus to show up.
misidentifies Jennifer Lopez as Mediterranean
That was
looking.
Tooch,
Yeah.
That was Tooch. Was that
right?
like,
Wasn't it Tooch?
yeah.
Or was it Ray Fiennes? Oh, no.
I think it might have been Ray Fiennes.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some weirdness.
Well, I think that
For
was
sure.
intentional. Of like, this white man can't imagine that
Sure,
he
sure,
would
sure, sure,
fall
sure, sure.
for a Latino. She must be Mediterranean.
Sure, sure,
Like,
sure,
so
sure,
white.
sure. Got it.
And then Amy Sedaris is also in the movie to just play a racist woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was upsetting.
Doing Pilates.
She
Yeah.
she knew, understood the assignment.
And she
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie, it's thinks about doing more than it does.
Sure.
Like there's some amount of like class and racial tension, but like it's pretty light still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
Something like I'm not mad about it actually.
Yeah.
because it's still just a rom com, so I don't need it to go hard.
yeah.
And it like sort of brings it up, and it's like, you know, we know that this is part of it, but like let's not get too excited.
But I also think that like they use it to overreact in every possible scenario. Like everything is a huge deal where I'm like, why don't you just like tell him what happened? And if he isn't into you, then you get this, like, you don't want him to be into you, right? Isn't that the whole thing? Is she like doesn't want him to be with her?
I mean, she wants to be with him.
Yeah.
But
She wants to be with him, but also to Beth's very good point
Yes.
as we were watching the movie.
Yes.
The method of breaking it off with him
Amazing.
that everyone agrees upon is that she needs to go to a gala $2,500 plate event decked out in an incredibly gorgeous dress with Winston diamond necklace
Yeah.
and break up with him in person.
okay, well, first of all, they're not even dating. Like her kid was like, can I go on a walk with this man, this random man, and
Yes.
this giant dog?
Yes.
And she's like, I'm going to go with you.
Okay, hold on. Let's back
Oh,
up
no.
one step, though, because Ty, the kid, was like, can I go with you? And that random man was like, oh, sure. But he's like, I have to ask my mom. He's like, okay, Tucci, you take my dog. I will go back into the elevator with this child I just met and go up to find your mom with you.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Oh,
But
the
then
choices.
doesn't she... How her best friend pushes her to go out on the walk.
Yes, Stephanie Kehoe. Anyway, she ruled. She was the horny maid friend that I predicted.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you did.
But her character served only to push forward the plot. Only to push forward the plot and to be horny.
Yes.
For her two functions. And when the plot required pushing from someone with a completely different point of view and or personality, she was just given those lines anyway. Like, she's all about, like, she pushes her moral friend to do an immoral thing of trying on these clothes that are not hers, further pushes her to pretend to be that person and to go out on a walk, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then later, what is it she does later? She
applies on her behalf for the management position.
Oh, she applies on her behalf for the management position, which is a whole thing, and we should talk about it. But before we get there, she also, like, tells her off at one point and tells her she can't possibly see this man anymore and has to break up with him.
It's very confusing. I was confused by everybody's wants and needs. Like, none of them made sense.
Yeah, I'm not surprised considering the movie started with like a 10-year-old that idolizes Richard Nixon. Like, clearly, like there's a confusing level of values for every character in this movie.
So this little kid, he has to do a speech thing, as he calls it.
Yes.
And he starts out by saying, Richard Milhouse Nixon.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Amazing.
It's wild. It's wild stuff.
That-
Am I that kid?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, he did a much better job than I did.
He's also listening to Simon and Garfunkel at the beginning because he loves the 70s.
It's like a
for some
throwaway
reason.
line where she's like, "Oh, they had a unit on the 70s, and now he's obsessed with it."
Yeah.
So he's reading a book about Henry Kissinger, Richard Nixon, and then listening to Simon Garfunkel and The Best of Bread.
Yeah. And does he... Yeah. He likes Richard Nixon?
I think he's
Interested.
It's like that Seinfeld episode where like Jerry's dating a girl who loves Saddam. Oh no, that was Arrested Development where the teacher loves Saddam Hussein, and then everyone has to correct it like as a historical figure or whatever.
But then, yeah, I want to talk about the politics of the movie a little bit. 'Cause it's like, so then Ray Fiennes is a Republican.
Yes.
And they kind of make some digs at it, but
like
don't really.
They're so like just a little gentle scratch of the surface because you got to remember this is 2002.
Yeah,
everybody's holding hands. We are all one, singing "God Bless America" on the steps of the Capitol.
George W. Bush, Rudy Giuliani.
Exactly, we love them so much. Republicans, New York baby, America.
Yeah, but it's like I can't figure out what they're going for.
It was really politically neutral.
Yeah,
They were
not.
like, let's make little jabs at the
He
Republicans.
was
Like, let's make little
supposed to
jabs at the
play
Democrats.
a rich English person,
Excuse me.
which he is. That's what he was supposed
Wait.
to play, and then they switched it to be a politician.
Why?
Because the towers fell, Beth.
I guess I don't know.
I don't know.
but like so clearly, he was
Wait, did
out
they already
of
cast
touch.
him before they changed the role?
I don't know.
Oh.
But Hilary Swank was originally going to be the maid.
What?
There was a different director and Hilary Swank attached to this movie, which at the time was called Chambermaid.
Was it not a comedy?
I mean, I guess.
Chambermaid.
Yeah. And then finally someone was like, guys, Maid in Manhattan. Come on.
They went up to the whiteboard, erased chamber.
They
Yeah.
just wrote exactly, and they put a giant money sign next to it, and it was very commercially successful.
Yeah.
And Ray Fiennes is American? Question mark.
Bless his heart.
Well,
it was hard.
obviously.
I mean,
It
he's
was-
the third marshal to possibly be in the Senate.
He must have spent a semester in England.
Do we not
least.
notice his accent? Does his accent cover up that he normally sounds like he's like speaking through marbles? Or is it just his American version of his accent sounded very marbly?
Yeah, I think that was him trying to do an American
Oh,
accent.
I mean, I
okay.
feel like that's like the go-to if you are British. Is like, oh, Americans are lazier. Like that's how I do an American accent. I talk lazier.
Oh. Well, it's very hard because
Yeah.
he also would sometimes have a little bit of a New York thing happening.
I mean, if you hang out with Jennifer Lopez the whole time, like it's
Yeah.
gonna. Yeah, there were a couple moments where when they got into like spicy arguments, where like it definitely slipped a little bit. His accent slipped a little bit.
So did hers sometimes. When she and by the way, she makes a lot of speeches. There are a lot of. If there's anyone listening to this who is doing a high school speech tournament and needs some good monologues for dramatic or comedic interpretation,
so many to choose from.
At least 3.
At least.
Ed Asner, who's not Ed Asner. Who was that again?
Oh, wow.
So
How
sorry.
dare you? Detective Eddie Valiant.
Yeah, Bob Hoskins plays the
Mario.
the head butler for the 22nd floor, which I guess is probably like the penthouse floor. So
We gotta talk about this hotel at some point.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was the Waldorf Astoria, which I have been in.
Okay. You didn't get up to the 22nd floor, though.
No, I was
York Suite?
there was the Peabody
Park
there.
Suite?
Peabody Awards.
Peabody Award-winning movie made in Manhattan?
Yeah.
No. The
For all their
Peabody
hard-hitting political
Yes,
commentary?
exactly.
In the one scene where she told him, like, maybe you should go to the projects.
Yeah, right? There's like hints of
Yeah.
she's going to teach him how real people are.
But
And she never does.
No.
And he never teaches her anything.
No. I mean, he might teach her a couple moves.
Maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
if one of those
Lips
moves is like
touching.
weirdly using your thumb to kind of paw somebody's face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was hard.
There's a sex scene that lasts as long as it takes for Beth to go, I don't want to watch
this.
And then we fade to New York
That's
skyline.
right, baby. Next
the
morning.
I just did not feel their chemistry at all. And so it just was like, it was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that him like rubbing his thumb against her lips in a way that just felt like
And she's very still while that's happening.
yeah,
Yes.
it's just like she's not. There's no like she's not into it at all.
And he's
even
also kind of
acting
like
wise.
standing above her
Yeah.
in this very. It's just.
You think that was intentional, though? Like, that was another one of their weird, like, slight attempts at making a comment on something? Probably not.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, she was so still. It was.
All right, let's do a quick dud survey. All right.
Oh, okay.
Ray Fiennes, dud? Or I guess
At the time.
Assemblyman Chris Marshall, dud?
Oh,
yeah, he's a dud.
Yeah?
Is he?
Let's go. Okay, we're talking Richard Gere, Pretty Woman,
Oh god,
Chris Marshall, Maid of Manhattan.
like beyond a dud.
Which one?
What's his face?
Richard Gere?
Richard Gere.
He's a bigger dud. I just
Yes.
want to make sure.
Oh,
I'm trying to figure out what the
absolutely.
scale is.
He's definitely a bigger dud.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least Ray Fiennes has a giant dog.
Yeah. And I guess, like, if you're...
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't sure where that was going.
Y'all, if you had seen this movie just now, your brain would be there too.
They did a lot of, like, little...
So many.
So many innuendos.
90% of the script is double
Yeah.
entendres.
And there's at least like 2 to 3 like contractual
Yes.
acknowledgments of Jennifer Lopez's rear end.
Yes. Which we theorized was maybe, like, in her contract.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first half, the hot butt hotel, like that.
Very prescient.
That's pretty
We
good.
nailed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly.
I mean, the butt we see is just like some goofy man who got kicked out of his apartment
But then
or his
they-
hotel room.
They make a lot of butt references.
Yes.
And then
So
she
much.
sits on his face.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That was actually pretty clever.
That was a DVD
honestly.
moment.
Yeah.
She's
Saw
wearing
them-
that fancy white outfit, and then she sits
We
on
were
the
all so
park
nervous
bench.
for her when she sat down
Yeah.
in that public
Ooh,
park.
the symbolism.
Yeah, and on the park bench was a magazine with his face on it.
That was the first time we got the because she's like, "Oh, does I look okay?" And she kind of like flips up the jacket a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
"Perfect."
Oh, he's just got a little.
Then he
like-
licks his lips a little bit. No,
and
he
his
doesn't do that.
eyes pop out.
Yeah.
And his tongue rolls out.
Yeah, 2002 was America horny for the Fienneses? Either of them? Yeah.
When did Shakespeare
Both
in Love
of
come out?
them. Oh,
Is that
no.
99?
I think
The
it's
year of
a
movies?
90 I think it's like late 90s. Yeah. Don't ask me. I didn't look it up,
That seems right.
but it does seem generally
I
correct.
feel like people were horny for the Fiennes because it
Oh,
wasn't
absolutely.
wasn't
I thought
Rafe in English
Patient?
Patient?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
were
No,
horny.
people
Horny,
really liked
right?
him, but he's way more attractive with a British accent.
I
Yeah.
see. Sure. No
Yeah,
question.
he's not like a stud. He's
No.
like a classy man.
He's not a dud, not a stud.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
He's all right.
But also, like, you don't have to support J.K. Rowling just because you made $1 million from that movie, buddy.
Oh, is he?
You have to support who?
That bums me out.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was Voldemort.
Yeah.
Makeup.
I had no idea.
Good job, makeup
That's why
department.
I thought it was so funny that she said that she was into his eyes and mouth because I was like, that's just Voldemort.
That's all he's got.
Yeah.
All he's got.
Wow.
Yep.
That was
He was the Snake Man in the Wizard movies.
It's pretty good in that. His
he
very
was,
Yeah.
he was pretty good in those movies.
He's like, I don't hate him,
No.
yeah.
and he's like good the whole time. Like a lot of times in a rom-com, we've got like, oh, when they fall apart, right? It's because someone did something shitty. But
Yeah.
in this one, I guess it's because the jig is revealed and the circumstances just don't work anymore.
I just feel like it was like he was like, I'm confused. What's going on? And then she was like, don't you get it? I'm the maid. And I feel like he could have been like, oh,
Okay.
I still like you.
Well, but I
What's your actual name?
I will
of
say,
was.
but she does say at the very beginning when she's talking to her son, not saying something is the same as a lie, right? So she let him believe a lie for a full week, and they slept together the night before,
Right.
and now she has this completely different identity. Also, very weird work dynamics. I don't know if we
Oh,
have
man.
time to get into it, but yeah, there's like a big
podcast.
confrontation scene.
This is a podcast.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
all
We
the time in
got
the
plenty
world.
of time.
Yeah.
But, you know, she doesn't just get confronted by her boss, but they bring in this dude. They bring in Natasha Richardson's character. It's like a whole, like, I don't know. I just don't think human resources works that way, but whatever.
Yeah, she should not have been fired in front of this woman.
Yeah,
but
she didn't
Well, I
need
mean,
to be
you know,
humiliated.
the customer's always right.
Well,
She wanted to humiliate this maid.
Yeah, that's fair. She really did. Hey, do you think there's symbolism, or anyone has written a paper about this movie about the symbolism of her wearing a white, like encased in white as her entry? Because there's a whole point where he does see her when she's cleaning his tub. Oh, and she sees his stuff,
We
right?
don't know. We don't know.
Well, he walks in
Unclear.
to use the bathroom,
I was
and
in the
so we
kitchen.
just see him
He unzips.
unzipping his
He
pants.
unzips. We don't know how quick he was.
It's
to take
unclear
out
if the-
old-
Quick on the draw. Yeah.
She leaves and he unzips, or if he's like finishing unzipping.
He definitely glances down at his crotch while she's still in there. It's like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
But he doesn't see her.
But we as an audience don't see anything, which we all were
We
disappointed.
were all very upset about,
No,
especially
not
Beth.
Really dong.
I was glad actually.
really
that
saw
didn't
one
happen.
man butt
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
whole movie in
Yeah.
terms of nudity,
That's fair.
and it was a comedic man butt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was not a conventionally attractive man.
That's right. Also, he was locked out of his room.
LOL. But
His
she,
wife
very
kicked
nice,
him
was
out.
like, can we send a robe up to whatever?
how we
Because
know
she's a
she's a
good
good-
maid, good person,
Great mom.
great mom.
Bad cop.
Bad cop. I think she is. Isn't she a cop and out of sight? So she's a bad cop.
Oh, and that movie
Yeah.
came first.
Are there
Y'all.
crooked cops?
No, she's just compromised
Oh,
because of horniness.
okay.
But Out of Sight is like 98.
That's wild.
And then Wedding Planner, 2001.
Which you thought this movie was.
Which is what I thought this movie was. And then Maid in Manhattan, 2002.
So this was the
Wow.
one where it's like, this is the era of J.Lo. Let's keep it going.
This
And they
is
said, Made
Jenny
in Manhattan.
on the block, dating Ben Affleck.
Oh yeah, this is peak J-Lo.
This is
Peak
peak
J.Lo.
Bennifer, peak J-Lo.
We got
Wow.
to get this made into Manhattan.
Yes. And that, I
Get
think
Swank on
that's-
the phone. She's out. It's J.Lo's movie now.
Wow, they kicked Swank to the curb.
Yeah.
She had to go make $1 Million Baby or
Yep.
whatever.
Had to win an Oscar.
Yep.
What a
Yeah.
bummer.
Too bad for her.
Yep.
But anyway, that's what's going on.
Can I talk about my favorite person in this entire
Absolutely.
movie?
Yes.
Okay, so when she goes to break up with this man,
Yes.
she goes to it's like a fundraising gala
At the Met.
At
Yeah.
the Met,
Yep.
and there is a band,
Yes. Oh, yes. Of course.
and it's a large band.
Yeah.
There's a man singing, there's some backup singers, and there is a guy playing the triangle so hard.
We should be clear. This
Yeah.
is a sensual song. Like
Yeah.
this is like an R&B group that
So smooth.
He's
so
just
smooth.
like grooving to it and hitting the triangle at weird points
Yes.
in time.
He loves his job.
I want the camera to just go over to him and then just leave everyone else
Like they
and just follow him.
like they have them framed up dancing, and then the camera's just like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
what is this?
Right,
Yeah.
man.
Is there a movie like that
Oh, I'm sure there is.
where it's like following some person and then they're in a room and then it like all of a sudden starts following another person.
I'm sure
for
that's
the,
happened.
Yes.
That's a good convention for a movie.
Maybe Hitchcock's done it at some point, right?
I like the idea. Somebody use
Trademark.
it. Trademark.
Yeah, Pop-Up Hotel.
We came up with it.
But only if they're
The
playing
Triangle Man.
triangles in a very like groovy kind of way.
Oh, he
was
loved
very
it.
good.
He loved what he was doing. He loves what he does.
I just love him.
I've got the best fucking job in the world.
Like the movie was like mediocre for me until that moment,
Yeah.
and then I was like, I'm in.
I mean,
There was something for everyone in this movie.
There
Yeah,
was.
and that
Except-
something was that triangle man.
Yeah.
what do we not have?
I will say, except for someone who likes to see a hot dog cart in a New York.
Yeah. God damn it.
There was zero. There was one sort
Zero.
of breakfast cart where she got a giant. No, she didn't
Yeah.
get.
She got a coffee.
She got like a coffee.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And later
Coffee
she gets
cart.
a giant egg roll.
Yeah.
But no hot dog
No,
carts.
that's
No
not
hot
a
dog
one.
carts. And also, why do we always have to have a shot of someone taking out the trash in New York? We get it. It's a city, but there's trash literally everywhere.
But like,
literally every community, from the tiniest town
yeah.
to the most large metropolis, has trash. And not once have I seen a small town been defined by somebody dragging trash out to a trash can.
I think it's because they just basically toss it in front of the property, so there's just always piles of trash before
No,
trash
it's
day.
always a thing though. Like in Spider-Man, there's
Yeah.
like a whole. It's
I'm
like,
saying in New York specifically, though, they like are constantly building up mountains of trash for trash to come pick up
I guess, but like, why?
because it's a highly dense,
I mean, no, I don't-
densely
wait, okay,
populated
I
urban
understand
center.
why there is trash in a highlight. I'm just saying, like,
I think it's
let's switch it up.
sure.
Let's maybe show a hot dog man.
Someone killing a rat.
Please. I will say they do it in the suburbs too. Someone like late at night, lonely,
Yeah.
rolling out their trash.
Sure.
cans,
Yeah,
that's
right?
true.
That's it. Shows like how life can be mundane.
Yeah.
Oh, for everyone,
Yeah.
even a.
But sometimes, oh, sorry.
No, please. I was going to say nothing of value.
I was going to say sometimes it's very exciting because they find something in the trash
Yes.
or
Yeah.
they've thrown something away earlier in the day and they grab it out of there because they realize they actually need that note for some
Or a
reason.
private investigator rips through all the trash bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the moment the event happened on the street.
Yeah.
They just happened to be out there on it.
Mm.
Yeah. Turns out trash is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Molly.
I take it back.
Yeah.
I still could have gone with a hot dog cart.
Well, we all could have gone with a hot
How about
dog
the
cart.
library? The library is a big deal in New York.
Just go to the library? What are you saying right now?
I'm just saying in the montage.
Oh, you're saying like Statue of Liberty, library,
Yeah.
hot
The-
dog cart.
yeah.
Okay.
We got Central Park, right? I assume they were in a park.
They were in Central
New
Park.
York only has one.
No, that's not true.
They were in Central Park.
Okay. And they hand out paper clips.
Pardon?
Weren't they paper clips? Ray Fiennes has this thing about
Yeah.
if you're nervous in a speech, you
Yeah.
hold onto a paper clip. I had a hard time following it. Honestly.
It was like a conduit to like get nervous energy out of your
Yeah.
body.
Okay. This
I
is
was
fidget.
just so relieved he didn't say picture everyone naked.
Yeah. He's a 10-year-old boy, senator to be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But that's how they connect, and then you can tell they're soulmates at the end because
Yes.
they each open
'Cause
their
they're
hands.
both fucking nerds.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was genuinely surprised by certain parts of this movie.
Me
Not
too.
just in like weird like ways watching a movie through 2023 eyes, but like genuinely, there were parts that were surprising and delightful.
Unexpected.
Yeah,
Yeah. Can we talk about the big one?
yeah.
Please.
I feel like everyone was very excited when this happened.
Oh, are you talking about the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Movie ends.
On a freeze frame.
Yeah.
This is at a point we should mention, like, this has been set up throughout the movie where, like, right before this happens, Ray Fiennes' character is basically being followed by essentially a clown car of journalists.
Yeah.
And so that is like the conceit that allows for this ending to occur.
Yeah.
Because he goes into this random room.
Yeah. He like happens to be at the hotel where J.Lo is again. And
Which J.Lo got a new job at that hotel after getting fired
Yeah.
for the other
Yeah.
thing. And
And-
Bob Hoskins maybe like blessed her with his
Yeah.
ghost.
Oh yeah,
blessing.
we think Bob Hoskins is a ghost.
Of course
He's like
goes.
definitely from the 1920s.
Yes. You'll be a manager someday. And then he like winks and flies off in the air. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Her son parent traps them
Yes.
and like gets them in the same back room where she's like eating a full meal.
Probably her lunch.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It like looks. It looks. I guess it's a hotel. That's why it looks
Yeah,
fancy.
you can
Oh, I
get shit
see.
from the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they like, how about, hey, let's start over. Then they smooch.
But right as they're smooching, you hear, it's very helpful because you hear one of the journalist characters say off frame, "We're in."
We're in, yeah. Journalists flood in like a horde of zombies.
Yes. Freeze frame.
Freeze frame, newspaper spin transition. Oh, okay, it's a newspaper, but we're not done.
It is a magazine cover
Yeah,
of the freeze frame.
yeah.
The tagline of the article therein, we assume, is something made in Manhattan.
Yeah, they really title check the movie.
Title of the movie in a freeze frame newspaper spin.
Yeah, and that's not our last magazine. Now we essentially get an epilogue in spinning magazine form, where we find out that Stanley Tucci is on the cover of a dog magazine with
His best
Rufus.
friend Rufus the dog, because
Yeah,
they
it's
apparently
Rufus.
got to know each other better.
Yeah,
She not only gets
That's
promoted, she is profiled in Hotelier magazine
Yes,
or
or
whatever.
whatever.
And all of her friends,
Horny
have
friends
all of her
have joined
horny
her.
friends have also become managers.
Yeah.
Slash
just-
the chorus of
We'll
this
talk about that.
musical.
Yeah, we got to jump back to that. Yeah.
but it was just so shocking.
Oh my God, none of us were prepared for that.
It took us a moment to recover, and we had a hard time remembering anything about the movie.
Yes.
other than
And I want to
magazine
be
spin.
clear, we would have been happy with name checking the movie.
Sure,
We would have been happy with freeze frame.
absolutely.
We would have been happy with spinny covers of any newspaper.
Yes.
To have it happen all at once, I mean, it was really a moment. It was like
magical.
winning the Super Bowl
I mean-
and Wimbledon at the same time.
Yes.
We've been doing this show for quite some time now.
100 years.
And I don't think that I've ever seen you all jump off of the couch at the same time and scream at the TV like you did.
Yeah.
Oh,
My cat like freaked out.
sorry.
It's the
I
most
did
surprising
apologize.
and delightful ending to a movie I've ever seen.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing to prepare you for it.
Yeah.
We were a little concerned our brains had gone blank and we
Yeah.
would not have anything to talk about.
Other than this scene.
Yeah, we would have talked about that for the whole time.
And we could.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I might go watch it again.
He's like,
I got so choked up thinking about it.
Just like the
The magic of
rapid,
cinema.
very emotional.
total shift of it. Like there's no other sort of edit dynamics like that in the
No.
entire movie.
It's just like, and it's so sudden. Like I didn't,
Yes.
I honestly heard you all react to it before I even knew what was happening.
Yeah. And then, just to have it immediately, you have the name of the movie on top of everything else was really,
Incredible.
yeah.
Would that be the editor that deserves all the?
Did someone just sneak it in at the end? Like,
I don't
the
know,
movie's done.
but that person, like, I mean, that triangle guy.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
I feel like they tested the original ending and
Right.
people were like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't find the
Just kind of
freeze
faded
frame.
to
It's
They're just like,
kinda
okay, I guess they're
away.
together again, maybe, whatever. Ho hum.
It also has to do with the whole vibe of this movie.
Uh-huh.
Is like real hard. Like it is a rom-com and comedy is in the name. I get that. But like the way it approached, it was like the director and the screenwriter had nothing to do with each other. And so things that could have been very funny were directed to not be, and then things that were directed to not be funny kind of were.
Yeah, that seems right.
You want to hear some secret hot goss?
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh!
Guess
yes.
who the true screenwriter of this movie was?
Martin Scorsese.
John Hughes.
Jennifer Lopez. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, I used a pen name.
Huh.
What
Why?
was his pen name?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I can only
Manhattan,
hold
Mr.
so much.
Manhattan.
Mr. Manhattan.
John Blues.
Sean Muse. Why was he a secret about it?
I don't
Because it's in
know.
New York, not Chicago.
Wow.
Oh,
Probably he
no.
was going to put his name on it, and they moved it to New York, and he was like, "I'm out of here."
Oh, it was like Chicago chambermaid.
Yeah.
With Hillary Swank.
Tango Maid.
Yeah, it was Chicango Maid. And then they attached Jennifer Lopez to it. It's like, hey, we're gonna change it to Maid in Manhattan.
Yeah.
They've made a really good pitch on the whiteboard.
Yeah, the word you used is
And
not-
John Hughes
no
was
one
like,
else understands it.
almost about to rip up the script. He's like, no, all right. And then he just crossed out his own name.
Yep.
New York Hughes.
Oh. New York Hughes. They'll never know.
Yankees
Yeah.
suck.
That's
But yeah,
so
it's-
weird.
It's a good point about the comedy of it, Molly. Like I don't know who is the comedic relief in this movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think Amy Sedaris was supposed to be funny.
But she's also supposed to be
Awful.
racist.
Yeah. Like
Right.
she's supposed to be awful.
we know it's not funny, but like,
She was still supposed to be awful even in 2002.
Right,
though.
but don't you think that was supposed to be funny how awful she was? Like her character, I think, was supposed to be funny.
I think so.
But also, like, how does she not, right? Like, anytime she plays a character, you're like, this character is meant to be kind of funny.
Yeah, but I don't know how it didn't land. Like, there is actually one moment where Natasha Richardson runs down a hallway, and it is genuinely hilarious.
Yes.
It's some incredible physical comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she can be very funny, I think. But, like, there's just something that doesn't sync up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they definitely just did one take of every like physical gag that they did, right? Like,
that's fair.
It just seemed like it needed to be heightened in so many ways, and it just
Stanley
wasn't.
Tucci just looking directly
That
at
was
the camera.
amazing.
So good.
That was incredible.
I think he's like technically supposed to be looking off camera, but for some reason it just looks like he's looking you dead in the eyes.
Maybe
like, yep, I just made that joke.
Maybe he did a Michael Caine. Maybe he did a Michael Caine, one for the actor, one for the camera, but he fucked it up.
I guess we get the J.Lo scene where she's trying to hide her face.
That was pretty
it's
good.
Like the hijinks should be funny of this, and they sort of are.
But they're like very neutered, I feel like.
Yeah.
This movie's just like, it's sort of pleasant in a non-threatening way.
I mean, it's 2002.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess it's like we all just needed like something to watch and forget about
Yeah.
our fake war
Yeah.
in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Did it yet to start?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Apparently, this started filming before September 11th.
Oh, no.
And they had to change up. Maybe they had a hot dog cart in front of the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
They
It was like very prominently.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. The whole hot dog guy monologue is right in front of the Twin Towers.
Oh,
He keeps
gotta
referencing the
recut.
Twin Towers over and over.
Yeah.
Oh,
they had
so
to like
sad.
change Ty's speech to be about Richard Nixon because it used to be about like the construction of World Trade Center or something.
Oh, my God.
God damn it. John, we've got a huge problem. We got to cut like 60% of your script. It's great,
New
baby.
York.
It's great. He's like, well, if you kept in Chicago, we wouldn't have had this problem.
No one's crashing into
Chikanga
the
Maid. And then he hung up. Wow.
At one point, this movie threatens to be a musical.
Like it wants to.
Yeah.
It feels like it's like bursted. It seems to become a musical.
Yeah.
It happens multiple times, but there's that one scene in particular where her horny friends
Yes.
/ coworkers
Yes.
are trying to convince her to tell this guy, trying to convince her to dress up really nicely, go to this gala, and then tell him I never want to see you again.
Yes. Get fucking to the nines just so you can be like, this isn't going to work. Then come back here, girl boss your way to management, and then everybody gets a raise, baby.
Yeah.
And they've got this sort of like quick, like, you know, there's always that moment before a song starts where
Yes.
everybody's like, the tension is building.
They're bouncing around like the three co-stars are kind of doing
they're,
physical
like,
stuff
moving
with each
back,
other.
And you're like,
They
we're
keep
like
touching each other.
Yeah, like it was just like you were expecting it all to be like. Bum, bum,
we're like an
bum,
hour
bum,
and 15 minutes in. You're like, are they going to do it? And they almost do it.
And
They
it's
play
almost
up
disappointing that they don't.
Yes, I feel like I got blue balled by this movie. To be overly crass, but then they play they do like the fake musical thing of
coming
like,
up. And they're all dancing to it, but
and then
like
I guess they do the shopping montage, but again, it's like not quite
No.
there. Like they could have hit that harder. It would have
Yeah.
been a big moment. Like the shopping outfit montage is like a big rom-com thing that
Yeah.
you can hit hard, and everybody's like, yes,
Yeah.
outfits. Look at J.Lo's assets.
Right. That was a
The
joke
line
in the
from
movie. Yes.
which is like so tired, but also contractually obligated.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
2002. Come on.
Yeah.
I loved those three maids. They should have been in the movie more.
Yeah.
They were fun.
They got to be on a magazine cover.
That's
Well,
true.
it wasn't called Maids in Manhattan.
That's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, singular.
I think if this were a musical,
Yes.
Yeah.
and they just heightened everything a little bit more, like the physical comedy was just a little bit more like, you know,
Intentional.
Yeah.
yes,
It felt like there was no permission to laugh because it just felt uneven.
Yeah.
Like Amy Sedaris, I think, was toning it way down for Amy
Yes.
Sedaris.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, she's like
sure.
the thing that is so delightful about her usually is just how bizarre she is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I mean, obviously her character is like highly unlikable.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, like Natasha Richardson's character, you just couldn't figure out if she was supposed to be ridiculous or
is she
sort
like
of taken
unhinged,
seriously.
or is she dumb?
Yeah, is she
or
just
is she...
self-centered? Like,
Yeah.
like something, and I don't mean she was complex and three-dimensional. I just mean you just didn't know what.
She was tonally unclear.
Totally
Yeah.
unclear, and so many other people were.
Yeah.
And so there were lots of places that hit and that were fine, but those were all of the non-comedic parts. And I would even say her, J.Lo's rapport with the kid who plays her son,
Oh,
excellent.
wonderful.
Yeah.
He was a great kid actor,
Yeah.
like really natural and easygoing, and you believe their relationship right away. They only had a few lines to establish that. Great.
Great.
Yep.
No notes.
I
But
agree with
then
that.
you're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Like, is it a comedy?
I mean,
Yeah, because sometimes they're successful. I'm sorry, I'm really struggling.
you are like in the
Sometimes
weeds on this. I love it.
They were successful. And
Yes.
I think that's what maybe really threw me, is because then you're like, oh, that's what they're aiming for.
Right.
But then nothing else was. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it would all not hit you.
Like if there
be
just been like one time where Dan said, that was pretty good, you'd
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, okay, it was just an unsuccessful.
I never
Yeah.
said it.
You never said it.
No.
But there probably like were 3 or 4 moments where in your head you're just like, huh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to put too much. I don't want to blame 9/11 for this movie.
9/11.
9/11? What did I say?
You said 9/11.
9/11. Hey,
Ooh.
there's something there.
There's definitely something there.
Is there?
Yes.
Whatever it is, it's way too soon.
Yeah.
But like, here we are 1 year after
Yes.
in New York.
Yes.
Like,
Nerves are raw.
there's Rob. We want to make a lighthearted movie, but also, do people feel like we don't want to give everyone too much permission to laugh?
Right.
Like, are they trying to thread a weird
Maybe.
needle of like, it can't be too funny because it's New York?
Yes.
No.
Also, it's a Republican senator.
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Is that supposed to be like that, like Mary Madeline, what's his name thing?
Are you talking about the Bible? What are you talking about?
No, sorry. What is that couple? James Carville. Cut all this out. I'm struggling so
Oh.
The
hard.
Raging Cajun?
Yeah, the Raging
Yes.
Cajun
And the other lady.
and his wife.
yeah.
They were sort of like an odd couple, and it was fun and spicy, right?
Sure.
Were these two supposed to be spicy, and they just took out all the spice?
I don't know, man.
Was it supposed to be like a Spencer Tracy, like Katharine Hepburn,
I don't know.
like given? I don't know.
Yeah, everything needed to be heightened.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
needed to be heightened as well. Like he needed to be a little bit more like I'm very conservative
Or something.
Yeah.
and she needed to push back and then he needed to be more intrigued by it.
Right.
Yeah.
For that to be like, "Oh, I see there's like something happening here."
Spark.
Yeah.
There was more. Like there was more of a
She
class.
had more heat with the sales lady she told off
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
than she did with this dude whose
Ooh.
policies are completely counter to her. And is her son a Republican? Is he like a little Michael
I
J.
think
Fox?
he's just confused. He's just.
Because he's like environmental.
There's a subtle suggestion that he is like very intelligent but very socially awkward. So I
Yes.
think it's more just like he's fixated on this because he was learning about it.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing he's learning about right now. But he's like, yeah, it sounded like he was just like very just politically aware. And the only politician he meets in the movie is this one Republican guy, right?
Yeah. But he just compliment him on his voting record.
Yeah. Which was
For in the environment. he said.
pro-environment.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was- yeah.
He's an assemblyman. Like he can slip a few things in there because the mob owns all the
Yeah.
waste companies in there. So he probably had to vote to just do certain policies.
Wow.
Anyway,
The jewelry store scene is another almost musical where she
Yes.
like tells off the lady and it's like this moment of like worker solidarity and then she's like, right, ladies? Then there's like a whole crew
and there
behind
used to,
it.
there
They're
was
like-
just one at first, but
Yeah.
they kept growing.
And they're lined up like it's
Yeah.
like they're in Greece.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
Now they're going to start singing about the working
Show
class.
me the hose. Show me the hose.
And I don't mean that kind of hose. Get your head out of the gutter.
Sorry, pantyhose.
Maybe this is why it's not a musical,
It's
because
just
they
like
tried to write it
couldn't
and they just
rhyme
couldn't.
anything at all. They're like, what rhymes with hose?
Toes? Oh, it'll never work.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We had a running joke for the longest time.
Who's we?
My family.
Okay.
Oh,
No big deal.
Did you start to do Borat and then decide to walk it back?
Yeah.
Did you Maid in Manhattan that Borat joke?
No. So I have a daughter, and when she was very little, she had this hair. You know how your hair grows in when you're a kid, and it just looked like a power executive lady haircut from like the 90s. And she liked to play with a monitor that looked a lot like a BlackBerry. And so we just started talking about her like she was a manager at Kohl's. And all the time, like, we built it this whole thing. And one of my favorite parts was getting to say, oh, me and the gals in hosiery are going to stop for drinks after work. And I just, like, it makes me so happy because there used to be gals in hosiery, but there's no hosiery departments anymore. Right?
Well,
maybe at the fanciest hotels.
I guess so. That is the very fanciest. But yeah, like, I don't know. Anyway, so anytime there's a department store and they make any allusion at all to hosiery, I am 100% there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Feel free to adopt that in your own homes. It'll make you smile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Hot family tip from Molly Chase.
Yeah.
My family. I do also want to talk about like the theme of her. There's like also this sort of light pro-American dream thing happening here of like she just needs to like work hard and enter the management program, and that's the key to success.
Right.
And it's not at all that, like, it's not at all a trap because her and all her people and family have been pushed down by all the rich politicians.
And then there's that other weird angle that just gets touched on a little, where her mom is just like, we can't. Like, we are not able to do that. You are being a fool to even like aspire to that.
And she referenced it with her friends, like, we have to prove our mom's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've never seen that story in any other movie ever. It's the opposite, right?
Yeah, it's like the rise above your station, but you don't usually.
I mean, there have been other angles of that where like an immigrant family has told like the next generation, like, slow your roll, like, you're gonna get fucked.
Yeah,
because we're not allowed to do that.
And that's the thing about trauma, right?
Yeah.
Is that a lot of times moms in particular who have been traumatized in their lives will kind of hold it against their kids, especially their daughters, where they want them to succeed but not too much.
Yeah, right.
And that, there's sort of it's a combination of threat and wanting to protect them from disappointment. Being the daughter in that dynamic isn't awesome. But part of me was like, is this like way ahead of its time? Is this like understanding generational trauma and how it can come out between mothers and daughters?
Maybe. We don't know.
Right? Is it the best movie of all time? It could be.
There's a lot of arguments for that.
There's a lot of magazines that I can point to. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could be complex. And that's the other thing too, right?
It touches on a lot of stuff.
It could pick a lane. Yeah. But you know what? If I think about it, this is like the era of Ghost, right? Where every movie was everything. Like, Ghost was an action movie, a romance, a paranormal.
Didn't Ghost come out like way before 2002 though?
Yeah, that's probably true.
It was just like, I think early 90s, maybe late 80s.
Okay, never mind.
You wrote about it in high school.
That's right.
Okay,
so late 80s.
Yeah.
Early
I mean, it can be the era of Ghost that entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Never, I take it back. That thesis is terrible.
Ghost changed pop culture forever. Yeah. We are still in the era of Ghost.
Ghost walked, so Maid in Manhattan could run.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Well, before we get to our final thoughts on the movie, we like to put out on Discord a call for questions and comments. And
are we talking about fan engagement?
We're talking about fan engagement.
Maybe.
And a little peek behind my curtain. Forgot to put it out there till right before we recorded the second half. So these are limited by whoever was hot on the Discord.
Right.
My last name's a palindrome. Asks, I know rom-coms are still being made, but it is wild seeing that this movie almost tripled its budget, and that doesn't happen with modern rom-coms anymore.
Really?
Wow.
I wonder if the genre will see a resurgence or if it is better represented in other forms of media.
I feel like it has become the product of streamers.
Yeah.
Right? Like Hulu and Netflix will just like churn out rom-coms because they're easy and they're like, people watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely like this was peak feel like this is kind of peak rom-com. Maybe this is a little second
It's like
run.
Bridget Jones.
Yeah.
And
It was like the second renaissance of rom-coms.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
This might be like Love Actually time.
J.Lo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Reese.
You've
I
got
think
Mail.
now it's almost like self-referential to the
Yeah.
point where, and so formulaic that people don't even expect to be surprised.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
think that's probably why this movie genuinely surprised me, is because they tried so hard. Like, there was a lot going on with plot.
A lot.
It wasn't just that he was like a Christmas tree farmer in Vermont and that she was trying to figure out whether to leave her big city job or not.
Right.
Like, there are a million variations of that.
Yeah.
So her kind of messed up, like, but it was still about her trying to choose directly between career and this guy, although it wasn't a really convincing dichotomy, right? Because you're like, you can just get a job. Like, I don't know.
even Bob Hoskins, her fairy godfather, was
Yeah.
like, you should go to the Met, tell this guy you can't see him, at least until you're in management, wink.
Wink.
And then when she gets fired, he's like, you'll be a manager somewhere else. Like, he basically said, like, you'll be fine no matter what. Like, that seemed to be like his character's role.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was, her wisdom character, right? Like, he's literally teaching her the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
He
In
quit.
heaven.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, he
Heaven.
was like, I finally made a decision I should have made long ago.
Yeah.
And it was like, kind of, I don't know, there was an insinuation that he was like, I don't,
He
like,
completed his ghost business.
yeah, like there was some, like, big move that he was
Gets his
supposed to be
wings.
making. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really did seem like he was just going to float away.
He
I will
walked down a
say-
corridor as he left. We kept waiting.
One of the more effective scenes, that weird scene where she gets yelled at and fired, and Jennifer Lopez does a solid job of crying, by the way. in
Listen,
that.
J.Lo brings it for this whole movie.
Whole
Like,
thing. Yeah.
regardless
It
of
really
its other flaws in, like, the story or the execution.
Yep.
I think she's a good actor.
She brings
It's
it.
charming
Yeah.
and believable.
Yeah.
That's all
Both.
it takes.
For sure. But there's a moment where the manager yells at, what is Ghost Man's real name? What is the actor's name?
Bob Hoskins.
Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins. Where he speaks to Bob Hoskins like you would a dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it isn't, like, the words aren't rude, but the delivery is, like, so foul.
Oof.
And I thought that was effective. I get why he's leaving.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then he's got
He's got a little speech about, like,
one of the monologues about how
Oh,
we
yeah.
may serve them, but
we
we're
are
not servants.
servants.
It's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where he went. Maybe he went to start a revolution.
Maybe that's the
Oh.
whole thing, is that, what's his name? The senator is a public servant,
Oh.
and she's like a dinner servant.
Sure, sure.
Wow.
Never work.
Yeah, there's something
Yeah.
there.
But they
Something there.
should. Both of them they can serve while still finding each other or something.
And he's into environment conservation.
Yes, apparently. But once he gets to the federal level, he's going to fucking
But he's
just
really
destroy
self-serving.
an entire old growth forest. No question.
Oh, for sure.
No, the economy. Yeah, I would think we answered that.
Okay.
Follow-up. See any good modern rom-coms recently? The only one
Ooh, In a World. That's not that recent,
No.
but it is satisfying, fun.
I also have a
Romantic
not
comedy.
that recent, but more recent than that.
Oh, thanks.
I think Always Be My Maybe.
Sure,
oh,
that's
so
pretty good.
I was ready to watch that again.
Yeah, that's a few years back, but it's kind of got classic rom-com vibes with while also feeling a little
Fresh.
fresher.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it feels like it's mostly like Netflix churn.
Oh, I liked,
Christmas Princess or whatever the fuck it
What
is.
was it called?
Falling for Christmas.
No. Oh, Bros was pretty good.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And then Fire Island was also pretty good, which I combined the two in my head for a second. I'm like, no, those are two separate movies, but they're both pretty good.
Yeah,
Check them out. I think it's called Fire Island. It takes place on Fire Island,
Yeah.
at least.
yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of rom-coms, it turns out.
The
Looking
key,
through my list
the key
here.
is to have a spouse who is like, what if we just watch something that we don't have to pay that much attention to?
That's usually me. I guess that's not. Yeah.
It's just not your go-to for that,
No.
to answer that.
No, mine is The Great Muppet Caper. Or just like any
I
animated
mean,
thing.
solid choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, that's my problem, though, is like with animated stuff, I'm like, I have to look at it. I have to see the art.
Oh, you want something that you. Sorry, you want to watch a movie that you don't need to listen or look at?
No. I mean, that's what I mean. Like a rom-com, I can just like glance up and like get what's happening because I'm still paying attention to the conversations they're having.
Yeah.
Which is where all of it is telegraphed.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I need to experience the aesthetic that they've made, or if it's like a garbage DreamWorks one, it doesn't matter, and I'll just be like, it's fine.
I recently rewatched an old rom-com, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was, but it was so nice.
The Wedding Planner.
No, not recently. I would have remembered it better.
Was it Sleepless in Seattle?
No, it wasn't for the podcast.
Okay.
I'll try to remember and post on Discord.
Great.
But yeah, I would say I know In a World is old, but it is good.
I never saw that.
It's fun. It's about voiceover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, hit up. Tell us rom-coms.
What?
We don't have any.
What?
I was going to tweet at us on Twitter.
Oh,
we don't have
do
that.
We don't have Twitter anymore.
Discord us
Yeah. Patrons?
or Facebook.
Are we still on Facebook?
Yeah.
We are on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I'm still on that. Whatever.
I don't know. Hey, find a friend. Tell them about a rom-com.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
invite them over.
Or
never know what'll
let me
happen.
throw this out there.
Okay.
Well, let's see, you're not on Discord yet. You want to tweet at us. Be close to tweeting. Something like tweeting. You could go to patreon.com/totesrecall and find yourself a tier.
Oh.
A tier in which you not only get access to Discord, but you in fact get your name shouted out. What do we call it? Your name in lights in audio form?
Yep.
In audio form.
Because I don't know if you know this, Dan.
Yeah.
There are two such patrons who
What?
have chosen to reach this
So we can
vaulted tier.
Illustrate how good it is to get your name shouted. If your name is Luke,
Yeah, Luke.
Yeah.
Luke.
Get it,
Luke.
Love you, Luke.
Those are all the different light bulbs on the marquee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Dearmid.
Dearmid.
Thank
Pretty
you,
cool.
Luke and Dearmid, for
Thanks so
your
much.
patronage.
Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate you more than we appreciate some of the other listeners.
Wow.
Just slightly. Just ever so slightly.
Wow.
But if you're jealous about that, get your ass over to patreon.com/totesrecall.
And yeah, keep us going for
Yeah.
another 9 years.
Listen,
Yeah.
Also, if you want to, you could just send us an email or leave us a voicemail.
ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
We'd love
definitely
that.
leave us a
Leave us a
voicemail.
voicemail. But also take your friend to a rom-com.
Yeah. And then leave us a voicemail about your experience.
Oh my gosh, you and your friend can leave a voicemail together. Tell us about if it
Together.
was good or not.
Joint voicemail.
Okay, go out,
Okay.
meet
Voicemail.
somebody
Ooh,
cutely.
Totes challenge. Here we go.
Yeah.
Meet
Yes.
somebody cutely, and then both of you
Walk
call.
in on someone cleaning your bathroom and just start dropping trow without even realizing.
Yeah.
That's what we learned in this movie. That's how you meet
About
cute.
that one.
You meet cute by.
That's not an official challenge.
Okay.
So all this information is available on totesrecall.com. You can find the phone number, the email address, all that fun
Even a link to
stuff.
Patreon, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on there a couple
Yeah, all
times.
sorts
Listen.
of links. You like links?
We got
Oh, we
links,
got
baby.
it.
Oh, we got links.
We got more
Go ahead.
more links than a golf
Hot dog
course.
cart?
Yep, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, then a hot dog cart.
Hot
That would have
links.
been better.
Hot links. Chikanger made. Chikanger Burma.
More links than
Oh, then the zoo.
Target Center.
The Legend of Zelda
Then
franchise. What?
Yep.
remember that thing was like sock 'em boppers.
Oh, yeah.
Sock 'em boppers, more fun than a pillow fight.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
They're basically
I
like
support you.
inflatable cylinders you stick in your hands to punch each other.
And just punch
Great.
each other in the face.
Just wail on your brother with inflatable gloves.
That sounds great.
They were like, parents, would you like to give up? At least your kids won't kill each other.
They might still hurt each other, but not as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that bet.
My last name's Paladrum also asks.
Oh, we
my
weren't
Oh, I
done.
thought we were
Goodness.
done.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I let it breathe because
You
I
did.
always get yelled at for moving too quickly.
And then I swooped in to shout out our patrons.
Yes,
who
thank
we
you.
respect and love slightly more than the other listeners.
Any fun cameos from famous non-acting New York residents?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, that guy at the gala might have been someone that
Yeah.
you would know if you were slightly older and paid attention to New York, right?
I don't know. I'd like to think that the lady that approaches J.Lo for her autograph
Mm.
and then gets soundly rebutted by her new employer.
Rocked.
She rocked so hard. I would like to think she just genuinely got lost and was like, "Oh, can J.Lo sign this?"
Oh, that'd be great. They're like, we're keeping it in.
There was an older gentleman on the street who was very excited to be in a movie. I think, like very kind of like ran.
My God,
frame.
some of the background play of this
what
movie
was
were
that runner?
incredible. Oh yeah,
Literal runner in Central Park.
I forgot about that.
That was wild.
they were like half running in place, but clearly had to hit a mark because they needed to like stretch their calf on the bench.
I mean, I am curious, like, you know, when you're an extra, you have to do that like over and over again. Like how far that person had actually.
Yes.
That person did not look like they were a runner naturally, and there was a point where they just looked like a scared rabbit.
They
just
probably-
totally confused.
The problem is that they probably were right off frame and were supposed to like accelerate quickly enough to look like they're running, but they immediately slow back down.
Yeah.
And we know they just did one take of every shot. So.
But yeah, the best one for me was when Marissa, J.Lo, and Ralph Fiennes' character are having it out on the street because he chases after her. It's like, was any of it real? Blah, blah, whatever. And before the clown car of journalists show up, there's just this guy. He's like in a business suit, and he like walks up to them in a way that in some ways felt natural, like, oh, I should not be listening to this clearly very private conversation. But in another way felt like, am I supposed to be here in the shot? Like, it was
Am I
amazing.
doing this right?
Ugh,
Yes.
incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah. I would suggest watching this movie, just watching the extras, and I'm not even joking.
Yeah,
They're so
put it on
good.
mute. There's
Yeah.
no songs.
No.
Yeah.
Should be.
It lines up perfectly with Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, what if it lined up with the Jennifer Lopez album?
Oh,
Jenny from the Block
That'd be
just
incredible.
on repeat.
If you, if you want my love for you.
Oh, I'm going to be
Clearly
listening
we
to
know all the
J.Lo
words.
all day tomorrow.
Yep. All right. Our rating scale, as we all remember,
Of course.
is hot but hotel.
Yes. Yes. Hot is spelled with two T's, I believe.
Yep.
Thank
but
you.
it's spelled with one.
yeah.
You know, like, you get it.
You get
Yeah.
it. It's I don't know if we need to explain it again. 'cause
No.
I
I think it's
remember.
pretty clear.
People get it.
Yeah, it's a hotel.
It's a hot-
Yeah, it's hot, but a
but
hotel.
hotel.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's both a TV show and a sauna experience.
Yes. Yeah, it's a reality TV
That's
show.
right. It's a reality TV show where they have to work at the
Slash
hotel.
Sonics.
We need to pitch more things as we have to go to Hollywood and pitch something as a show / sauna experience.
Yeah, I think we know about sauna culture.
We
out
write
here,
the
but
word
it's
sauna on a whiteboard, turn the S into a dollar sign.
Yeah, yeah,
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't need those patrons anymore, baby.
Oh, we're
We
making
got sauna experience money.
screenplay money. New York Hughes, we're coming for you.
That's right. Is he dead?
Oh, I think he passed.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Easy target then.
Oh,
Wow.
Not New York Hughes.
we love famous screenwriter New York Hughes. Famous and absolutely real screenwriter New York Hughes.
All right, Dan, you gave it 3.
Yes.
You thought it was hilarious we were watching this movie.
I did.
But the movie's probably bad.
Here's the thing. Part of the reason I thought this was hilarious is because I think Beth mentioned that it's like we all are aware of this movie, but it has no staying power whatsoever. So in my mind, it's like this is going to be a ridiculous movie of its time that's awful. But it really wasn't awful. Like it was fine, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, yeah, like Molly was saying, like it tried to do a lot of stuff. It didn't succeed. But like it didn't try hard enough to fail, right? Does that make any sense?
Yes.
I don't know. I had a pretty good time watching it with you all. So I'm going to say 4 hot but hotels.
Oh my God.
I had a great time watching this movie.
Wow.
I had a great time.
4.
I had a great time.
Yeah, I get it.
Wow. I had a great time too, but I don't feel like it is worth 4 hot butt hotels.
Excuse me. It's hot but hotels.
You gave it 2 initially, just thinking it would be not good.
Yeah. I think it's better than 2. I
Okay.
think it's 2.5.
All right. Wow.
Guys, harsh.
It's
Yeah.
like literally, it's just so middle.
cold, Beth.
It's middle of the road for me. It's like it wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It's like right in the middle.
But it was bad enough where you couldn't go up to 3.
yeah.
I mean,
Because it's
3 is right in the middle.
2.5 is half
Yeah,
of
but on
5.
a rating scale, a 3 is in the middle.
Well, No.
Depends if you can give it a 0 or not.
Which you can.
You can?
Yeah, we've given movies zeros before.
I guess that's true.
Have we?
I mean, I know I for sure. I
Yeah.
tried to give like negative points to a couple of them.
Okay, this is how I usually base this, and I think I've shared this before, but when a certain streaming service that used to be a DVD service, you could rate the movie when you got it back.
Yeah.
And the scale was hated it,
Yep.
didn't like it, liked it, really liked it, loved it. And that's kind of how I base it. So I didn't really like it, but I didn't not like it.
Right.
So it's in between those 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
Bummer.
Those goofball hot people must have blown the roof off of the hotel they were employed at.
Yeah.
But they found each other.
Hotel.
That hotel. Oh, you said it too.
Coming to Discovery Plus next
Sure.
summer.
Warner Brothers Media Conglomerate. Anyway, I'm third, and I gave it a 3. I wrote no notes for myself. Why did I think a 3? I think I also thought it was funny we were watching this, but there's no way I was going to like it.
Yeah.
I did like it.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was pleasant to watch. I had a pleasant time watching it, which I was almost never confused. It didn't make me angry, hardly it ever. And everybody did a good job.
Great.
I guess I'm going to say 4 as well.
Yes.
Yes, Dan.
I don't know.
So confusing.
Something about it's not good.
No, listen.
It's not good.
No.
But
you're saying you really liked it.
That's
Yeah.
not.
That's your
Good
scale.
time.
Yeah.
That's your scale.
Well, these
This
are
is a
hotel
standard
hot,
movie
but
rating
hotel.
scale that I'm using.
This is a standard Netflix branded.
Oh, how dare you?
Not until they give us money.
Sorry. It's your scale. We all have our own scales.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
4.
4, baby.
All right, that's fair
4
enough.
hot butt
4
hotels.
hot, but hotels.
I mean, we are okay. It's a scale of hot butt hotels.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a different scale every
It's
time.
hot,
Yeah.
but
Can't-
hotels. Beth, please
Yeah.
take it seriously.
This is a brand we're trying to launch.
Hot butt hotels.
Oh, Beth.
But hotels.
Hot butt hotels.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it like an announcer, kind of.
Yeah.
There you go.
Molly, you were feeling optimistic, and you gave it a 4. You thought you would give it a 4.
Out the
Yeah.
gate.
Out of the gate, that was wildly optimistic. I have to say, when that freeze frame spun into a magazine cover and the name of the movie was the headline,
Yeah.
like it was really emotional for me. I was just like 1,000 hot butt hotels for this.
No,
Like,
if we
I
had
was-
rated this right after we watched the movie,
Holy
I would have given it a 5. No question.
As a short film, credits from Epilogue journalists, 5 for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes, amazing.
This was like so enjoyable, and I really liked Jennifer Lopez in it. I loved her in it. I thought her kid was great. I didn't understand a lot. I've already articulated all this stuff that was confusing to me, but like it didn't totally fail, and it had like a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Pretty good for a rom-com.
which is
Yeah.
I was
Which
like,
also feels fair somehow.
yeah,
Like I'm not mad about
also,
anything.
yeah, like I guess that's the thing, right? This could have been, anyway, 4.
Yes. Yes.
I am
Hot
shocked.
I love
Butt
this. I
hotels.
love the way this turned out.
I am absolutely shocked.
This is not at all how I expected this to go.
By the way, you all have your hands on your heads for some reason.
Because we're about to go into a song. Yeah. 4 hot butt hotels. That's the rate we have for this movie made in Manhattan. Hot butt hotels.
Would you like to check in? I have to go to work, but I'm hot.
And I'm Bob Hoskins staring down from heaven.
Oh yeah, Hoskins as like the host of
The ghost house.
yes.
The ghost house.
Yeah.
the host ghost with the most.
I'll bless you,
Your
Marissa, and your marriage, presumably, because it's a rom-com.
Oh, I was waiting for that. That must be the sequel. They must have saved that for the sequel.
Marriage?
They're going through, and they do
Westchester.
West End.
one of the headlines is still going strong after a year.
Yeah.
I was so sure the very next headline
Right.
was going to be from like
Bells?
Bridal Magazine.
Yeah.
And then I was like, they pulled it because they're like, we're going to have Maid in Manhattan
Just in case.
too.
Just in case.
Extra Manhattan.
I guess they don't.
Extra Manhattan.
They don't do rom-com sequels, really.
So, how many
they?
Prince and
I
Loves?
guess those ones.
They try,
They
but that's
try.
the whole thing, right? Is you have to end it, but usually you end it at the marriage. In
Right,
this
right.
case, they've just ended it at the first date.
Yeah.
So,
Until the
at first real
magazines.
date. Well, the magazines only go a year.
Yeah. So, things could turn south pretty fast.
But can you imagine that as your mother-in-law? Somebody who's just like, I told her not to ever go out with you and to not try in her life.
I would love to watch them meet each other, though.
Yeah.
Holy shit. She would tear his ass open.
But she's also like not that aggressive,
No,
right?
she's not.
Like that character could be like throwing pots and pans and like yelling and being like, "You're not good enough.
Right.
Like you can't ride." But she's like, "You shouldn't do it. You got bills."
Yeah.
And then she slowly
Like, I'm
closed the
gonna take it
bathroom
back.
door,
Once
and she's
every
like,
month.
okay.
That was a moment where she should have been like, bills, we
Yes.
have bills.
All right, we're doing a Fringe show. Made in Manhattan, the musical.
Made in music.
Made in
Musical
Musical.
No,
Written
why?
by New York Hughes.
Hot Butt Hotel, the musical.
What if we do Chicanger-Maid, the musical? Chicanger. What did we say?
I think I said Chambermaid. It's after I said
What
it,
is
somehow feels
It feels weird. What is
Weird.
it supposed to be?
a
Like
Chicago,
Chicago
and Chamber
Chambermaid.
together. It's supposed to start with
Chicanger-Maid.
Chambermaid.
I don't know. We're
I
gonna
love
look
it. I'm
up,
signing
and
off on this.
Okay.
Wow.
You should do a little research.
Yeah, just make sure.
Feels like maybe it's a slur somehow. And I
Would there
don't know
even
how.
still be chambermaids in 2002 New York? Like, isn't that the word they used when they like toss out the bowls of shit in the Middle
Yes,
Ages?
Yeah.
yes, you are sounding exactly like the executive who got the name changed.
Oh, sure.
Like, listen, I'm going to greenlight this so hard, but first,
And then John
you got to
Hughes.
add in 200% more sexual innuendo
Yes.
throughout.
Yes.
And I need a different title.
And then J.Lo's publicist was like, also, we got to make at least 3 of those innuendos about that ass. Do you
we
have
need
any idea how much
loving-
money we have gotten out of that thing?
Lingering shots.
Yes.
But like not a ton.
No.
Like it was, it's just.
Even the ass lingering should have been heightened if that was what they were going for.
Right. It's just a pleasant
And
film.
yet you all gave it a 4.
Yeah.
And I would do it again.
Me
Probably not
too.
tomorrow,
No.
but I'm telling you, like, I had the best time. I really enjoyed this movie.
Made in
I
Manhattan
didn't
Marathon
even
2024.
remember to go on Wikipedia during the movie. I had to look up everything afterwards.
Wow.
Wow.
So I'm just saying,
Every
I had
spring,
a good time.
we're watching it.
Yep.
No. But I also feel like I feel honor bound to tell you, the listener, if you're like, hey, this is going to be so fun to watch,
No.
just get some buds together
don't.
to do
No,
it.
it's not a
Don't
good
do it on your own.
It's not good.
Or like be
It's
doing
not a
something
good
else.
movie.
Be doing something else.
4. You just said it's not good, and you gave it a 4.
I had a nice time watching it.
Okay,
That's
check
all
the
I
tapes.
really
I
want.
have given high ratings to hot garbage before because I loved it so much.
All right.
Yeah, I
Fair
mean,
enough.
listen, Peeps aren't delicious,
No.
but I really like them.
Oh, they're a crime. I disagree. They're no Made in Manhattan. Made in Martian Mal.
Oh, stop.
Yes.
This is all
Martian
Dan's
Peeps
Valhalla.
present
Martian Valhalla.
Manhattan.
Sounds like Valhalla.
I love that.
Yeah.
We have so many good ideas.
Yes.
Podcast over. We're going into movie making, baby. Hollywood Bound. Right?
Yeah, all right.
What's going to happen is Beth is going to break up with us because
Yeah.
she's going to be like, I
No,
cannot
she
believe your
is.
standards are so
She's-
low.
Yeah, there's gonna be Totes Recall starring Beth Gibbs. It's gonna be a solo.
I will tell you what the accurate rating.
Yeah,
And,
don't
and then I'll tell you, yeah, the movie was fun.
check out the YouTube channel that Beth will make after this episode comes out, where she's just in the front seat of her truck talking about how horrible the movie Made in Manhattan really is.
Every
Wearing sunglasses,
single
of
video.
course.
Wrap around Oakley's.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, both on the front and on the back
Oh,
of my head.
baby.
Double
Absolutely.
Oaks.
Double
Double
Oaks.
Double Oaks. That's your YouTuber name.
Yep.
Yep.
Check it out. Check out YouTube Double Oaks. Subscribe and like.
Like and subscribe.
Smash that subscribe
Smash it.
button.
Smash that butt. Hotel.
Hotel, but
Nailed it.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.